Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday, April 23, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Region must pay keen attention to Venezuelan threat, Guyana's Foreign Secretary tells Concordia Summit. Over 2,800 dengue cases recorded within the first 4 months of 2024. As rain returns, Mayor says City Hall prepared to manage floods. Authorities still awaiting lab reports on BERBICE children who died last week, and over 110 million Guyana dollars raised for Palestinians following appeal during Ramadan 2024. Now for the news in detail. The recent postures and action by the Venezuelan regime regarding its illegal claim to Guyana's territory has been deemed a threat to stability in the Western Hemisphere, one that requires sustained attention and action from the region. In our lead story tonight, Gerald Bryan reports that this has been the position of Guyana's Foreign Secretary Robert Persaud at the 8th Concordia Americas Summit. Here are the details.
Foreign Secretary Mr. Robert Persaud joined other regional leaders at the 8th Concordia Americas Summit held at the University of Miami on the 22nd to the 23rd of April 2024. During a strategic dialogue entitled Regional Unity, Strategies to Improve the Western Hemisphere Relationships, Persaud warned of the threat posed by Venezuela to regional peace by virtue of its threats to Guyana.
The aggression that has been recently pumped up by the Maduro regime can affect and can harm our hemisphere as being a zone of peace. And this must cause all of us not only to be alarmed, but also to take the necessary action in this regard in arresting and ensuring that the motives and even the action. Just recently, the Caracas put into place what it calls the organic law, which basically annexes 2/3 of Guyana. And he's certainly be playing by the Russian playbook in many regards of what is taking place. And this certainly is an issue that we must not take lightly, because it would have, if he continues along this path, severe repercussion. And again, it requires hemispheric sustained attention and action.
Ivan Duque, former president of Colombia from 2018 to 2022, meanwhile had harsh words for the Nicolas Maduro regime running Venezuela. He referred to Maduro as a war criminal.
There's a democratic deficit going on. We have the situation in Venezuela, we have the situation in Nicaragua, we have obviously the horrible situation in Cuba, but we're also seeing regimes in Latin America that by extraordinary measures are trying to take full control of the courts, the press, and also in independence of the institutions. And that's a major risk. What is happening in many countries in Latin America needs to be addressed. And the best way to address it is, in evident cases like the one in Venezuela, is we have a war criminal that has to be tried by the International Criminal Court. We have seen that every single step to loosen the sanctions has been taken by Nicolas Maduro to affect the democratic resistance. And what happens is there are a lot of copycats of that model.
While he did not directly refer to the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy, Organization of American States Secretary General Luis Almagro stressed the importance of dialogue rather than strong-arm tactics. He also noted that dictatorships in Latin America never end well, instead ushering in migration and social crises, such as that facing Venezuela today.
It is clear that we need more diplomacy and more dialogue. It is very necessary. If you have a disagreement related to the application of a convention, there are many ways that you can fix that, and you don't start by the first. The first move cannot be the last and the more dramatic one. If you see the dictatorships in the region are complete failures, social failures, migration failures, they are humanitarian crisis, migration crisis, they have the whole package. So we need definitely to address the basics, and democracy is a point one.
Concordia is a global platform bringing together heads of state, government, and non-government officials to find cross-sector solutions to the various challenges. The second Concordia Amazonas Summit will be held in Guyana on the 9th to the 13th of July 2024, focusing on environmental sustainability and financial inclusion. Jao O'Brien, The Evening News.
Guyana has already recorded over 2,800 dengue cases for 2024. Trishelle Sobers reports that authorities are working assiduously to combat the presence of mosquitoes in various regions in a bid to combat this potentially life-threatening disease.
Some 2,852 cases of dengue have been recorded countrywide from January of this year to date. This figure surpasses statistics recorded in 2023, which showed that some 2,169 cases were detected from January to August. Up to that time, there were 239 patients hospitalized and 11 dengue-related deaths. For 2024 so far, there have been 2 dengue-related deaths. Last week, it was reported that there were some 43 active cases of the infection, but this number has decreased to about 30. During a telephone interview with the advisor to the Minister of Health, Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, the Evening News was informed that the highest number of cases were recorded in Regions 6 and 9. According to reports, some 440 dengue cases were tallied for Region 6 for the year.
For this year so far, Region 9, we've had to, we've probably recorded more cases in Region 9, and Regions 3, 5, and 7 might be the lowest. It is important for our people to know that across the Americas, throughout the Americas, in every country, there is an upsurge of dengue cases. And therefore, we need to be very cognizant of this and take necessary actions.
Dr. Ramsamy explained that the Health Ministry is still assessing the situation but has nevertheless mobilized primary healthcare centers across the country to treat the disease. On this point, he disclosed that all doctors countrywide have been provided with the latest information on treatment guidelines and are conducting seminars to foster further discussions. Additionally, fogging exercises are ongoing.
The numbers have been going down from the last few weeks. We've had for about 2 or 3 weeks between 122 to 165 new cases per week. There were also persons who might have had dengue, but were not diagnosed during the active phase. So we know about 2,500 people may have had dengue, and we tested them after they would have recovered or during their recovery stages.
According to a January 2024 World Health Organization report, dengue has become a growing public health concern, with approximately 4 billion people in 130 countries identified at risk of infection. Since the beginning of 2023, the world has been facing an upsurge of dengue cases and deaths reported in endemic areas, with further spread to areas previously free of dengue. Currently, all citizens are being encouraged to do source reduction, otherwise known as the elimination of mosquito breeding sites, especially around homes, schools, and their surroundings. Importantly, open water tanks are known breeding sites for mosquitoes, and it is advised that persons secure water tanks by covering them with a net or a cover and ensure that all extra openings are sealed. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Meanwhile, in Region 6, authorities are working overtime to ensure they take control of the situation. Chairman David Armogan has revealed that the region recorded 440 cases for the year so far, and that a 15-year-old who is infected with the illness is currently in the intensive care unit of the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. According to the chairman, everyone has a role to play in fighting this disease. Here's a look.
I want to appeal to the members of the public in light of this mosquito-borne disease that we seem to be having, is that they must ensure that they don't have water containers tires, old tires and old derelict stuff and so on, because mosquitoes tend to breed in these places. And so it would be, it would be good for them to clean their surroundings, to make sure that, they don't have breeding places for these mosquitoes. Also, I know we have already spoken to the NDCs as well to ensure that the drainage situation is clear. They have to do that for the rainy season anyhow. But at the moment too, because once you have stagnant water, what you find that mosquito breed in stagnant water. And another thing that we have noticed too is that whenever the tide is high and it overrides onto the land, you find that there's a serious infestation of mosquitoes in the area immediately after the high tide. So we have to look out for all these things.
Authorities are still awaiting the results of lab tests conducted on samples taken from 3 Berbice children who died under unknown or unclear circumstances. These children are aged 8, 9, and 11, died last week. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports.
An autopsy conducted on the body of 8-year-old Naomi Ragu of number 62 Village Quarantine, Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, had not been able to determine her cause of death. The autopsy conducted on Saturday by government pathologist Dr. Vivekanand Bridge Mohan is inconclusive, as such body parts were removed and sent for testing. This newscast was informed that samples were taken from the heart, liver, lung, kidney, stomach, and the spleen. Ragu died at the New Amsterdam Hospital on Wednesday last, hours after experiencing diarrhea, vomiting, and fever. Meanwhile, 9-year-old Ariana Mohabiu died last week Monday, while her brother Ricardo Mohabiu, 11, died last week Sunday. The girl died while receiving medical treatment at the New Amsterdam Hospital, while her brother was pronounced dead upon arrival at the institution. Authorities have been able to determine the causes of death, and samples were also sent to the lab for testing. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony informed this newscast on Tuesday that lab results were not yet available. Initially, he had told media operatives that the death of the siblings who reside at New Area Canefield, East Kanji, Region 6, could have been dengue related, but later indicated that more testing was needed. Meanwhile, in the case of the 8-year-old girl, reports are that she was battling with symptoms for several days and was eventually taken to the Skeldon Hospital on Sunday evening. According to her 75-year-old grandmother, Ramraji North, the child was not very responsive when they took her to the hospital in the bordering town of Riverton. However, she was treated and sent home.
After the child take the saline down, then take the child and send them back home. The child come back home, they say at night. So when the child come, he still a vomit whole night, he still get the operating, the eye closed, and he get this coldness when she cold, on the head.
The grandmother said the vomiting ceased on Monday, but the other symptoms continued. The child's condition continued to deteriorate, and on Tuesday morning she was rushed back to the Skeldon Hospital. She was subsequently transferred to the New Amsterdam Hospital.
Well, from there, he said the whole night the child had just so he there. But they put the treatment, she take the treatment, but the child, nothing, then you don't know what happened. What happened? 5 o'clock in the morning, he passed away, he said. He didn't stay back in hospital with she. 5 o'clock in the morning, the child passed away. When he get up, he see the child dead.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
As the weather transitions from a prolonged period of drought to heavy bouts of rainfall, the Georgetown Mayor and City Council has said it is prepared to mitigate and manage any possibility of flooding in the capital. Kamesi Slow spoke with Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor and filed this report.
With the May-June rainy season approaching, the Georgetown Mayor and City Council is preparing to once again deal with the likelihood of flooding in the capital city. Georgetown is known for constantly being underwater whenever there is prolonged rainfall. The current PPPC administration has blamed poor management of the city by the PNC-dominated town council. In fact, during an impromptu visit to pump stations in the city in June 2021, President Dr. Irfan Ali had found some pumps not working and some staff asleep. However, this year, new Mayor Alfred Mentor has assured that the city has a plan to deal with any possibility of flooding. This plan includes dispatching city engineers around the city to inspect and rectify any faulty drainage works.
We are always prepared, but we could also use additional resources. And if persons, citizens pay up their taxes, the government pay up their taxes, the businesses pay up their taxes, we'll be in a better financial position to be able to address other services.
The mayor also pointed to the concerns regarding the number of infrastructural projects in the city and the impact those will have on flooding.
Now you're having a wet season. What I've asked the engineer to do is to be prepared to put systems in place in the absence of those contractors not doing their job, or they're not in contract. We must be able to deal with those matters. So I've asked, even as late as yesterday, for them to do a recce of all of these constituencies and to figure out exactly what's going on with these contractors and the state of preparedness of them to allow for the water to flow whenever we reach from the drains into the trenches and into the canals. So we're working at that situation and to have that report available to us so that we can know exactly what's going on, so we could be able to put machinery and other things in place.
Since the PPPC administration assumed office in 2020, central government has played an integral role in managing the city's infrastructure during times of flooding. I am Kamisi Slow reporting for the Evening News.
Coming up, police to collaborate with Public Works Ministry to reactivate inactive traffic lights, and motorists involved in minor accidents urged to promptly clear roadways. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Guys, I think I'm in love! Wow!
Yeah, I was looking at you too.
What? What are you talking about? I'm in the tiles. Where did you get them?
Oh, Mima Decor, obviously the best tile store in Guyana. Come, let me take you there.
My kitchen, my bathroom, my floors. Mima Decor has everything. And the prices are great too.
So, girl, want to have a date now?
We can build on that.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Experience more than award-winning speed. Way more. Get the best that LTE has to offer on Digicel, officially the fastest mobile network in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the best mobile network in Guyana. With the best LTE experience and the fastest data speeds, experience it all with Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Dad! Dad!
Is that real?
आप लोगों को नजर आ रहे हैं?
Well hit. Away it goes. That is a ridiculous. Look at this.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A check to the tune of 110 million Guyana dollars was today handed over by the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, CIOG, to President Dr. Irfan Ali to aid the people of Palestine as they feel the brunt of the Israeli war to eradicate Hamas. Gerald Bryan tells us more.
The GUYD $110 million in humanitarian aid for the Palestinian people was raised during the recently concluded holy month of Ramadan. And since the fundraising initiative was launched by President Dr. Irfan Ali, it is fitting that the handing over ceremony was done at the office of the President, where he praised the generosity of Guyanese.
It gives me once again a deep sense of honor to be the President of a country that is so giving, to be the leader of a people that are characterized by care, love, and giving nature. This simple but important occasion verifies our credential globally. That is, Guyana believes in global prosperity. We believe strongly in a global family. We believe strongly in the strength of humanity. We believe strongly in the strength of unity. And importantly, these resources were raised across all segments of the Guyanese population, across all religious segments, across all ethnic segments, and that tells you that Guyana is always united in the process of advancing development, advancing peace.
According to President Ali, the people of Palestine deserve to live in peace, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. He noted that Guyana will continue to work with its global partners towards this goal.
They deserve to live in a land in which women and children are not killed and bombed on a daily basis. They ask for nothing more and they deserve nothing less. So we will continue to support every global effort to bring peace to the Palestinian people, to support all effort in allowing Israel to understand that what they are doing is not in keeping with the UN Charter and not in keeping with the stability of the region. This is, as we have said, a brutal attack on humanity. And we also, as a country, support every effort to build safe society in which any act of terror, any act that seeks to destabilize, any act that seeks to weaken the fabric of society, we condemn.
The sum raised will be delivered to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA, to assist those affected by the ongoing war. UN Resident Coordinator Yeshe Morok was on hand to deliver remarks during which she lauded the initiative taken by Guyana and the President.
Your contribution represents from the people of Guyana adding up to upwards of 110 million Guyanese dollars. That's almost $500,000 US dollars, more than $500,000 US dollars, combines with the contributions, generous contributions, voluntary contributions of the government of Guyana, also towards the same multilateral UN platform. UNRWA, the UN Relief Works Agency for the people of Palestine, is the backbone of the humanitarian assistance system in Gaza and in the rest of the territories where Palestinian people of Palestine live. For that, I again express a huge thanks on behalf of the UN Secretary General, on behalf of UNRWA and the entire United Nations international community, to the people of Guyana for the generosity, for this, and for its solidarity for all people suffering from hunger, from want, from fear, in terms of its foreign policy and its commitment to global goals.
President of the Central Islamic Authority of Guyana, CIOG, Sheikh Moin al-Haq, meanwhile highlighted the fact that the donation period had to be extended in light of the overwhelming support.
The overwhelming support forced an extension of the period of donations to be made. The funds raised will be handed over today to His Excellency, then will be delivered to the UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Workers Agency for Palestinian refugees, to assist those affected by the ongoing war. Our profound gratitude to all those who took time, either in person or through online transfer, for their overwhelming support to this worthy cause.
Jarrell O'Brien, The Evening News.
Having already fulfilled its promise to ensure every primary school student receives textbooks, the government will soon ensure that all secondary level pupils benefit from the provision of textbooks to support their studies. Michael Henry has the details in this report.
Over the last 2 years, because it's very, very expensive and we had budgetary constraints, we have bought for all the children in primary all the textbooks they need. That amounts to more than $20-something thousand worth of textbooks. And we're in the process of buying secondary books for secondary school children because we believe the contents in those books are important and they'll help us. They'll be a good support to move us along our academic journey.
Education Minister Priya Manachan on Tuesday speaking about the preparations towards equipping every secondary school child with textbooks. Already, the government has been providing textbooks to all pupils in primary schools within the public sector. As the Education Ministry moves to expand this program to secondary schools, the minister reminded of the need for children to take care of these books.
I saw people complaining, if you destroy the book, you have to pay for it, because you got to leave it for someone who's coming after you. These books are billions of dollars when you take everybody we have to give to and how many we have to give.
The Education Minister was at the time speaking during a World Book Day event held at the St. Stephen's Primary School on Princess Street, Georgetown. At the event, the ministry presented copies of Dr. Walter Rodney's novels Kofi Badu, Out of Africa, and Lakshmi, Out of India to the school. Other primary schools will benefit from copies of these books. Meanwhile, Minister Manachan has also announced plans to implement libraries stocked with storybooks for all primary school children. She explained that this initiative would complement children's reading abilities once they have learned to read.
We are buying for libraries across, well, for all the primary schools, storybooks. Because after you teach them to read, then what? Then what? What are they going to read? It has to be fun types of things. So you have to supervise that too, a reading time, a library time where you put some kind of thing in place in your school where you have to read X number of books, and that's going to be part of the program.
According to the minister, these initiatives serve as a great support to move children higher up in their academic journey. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
In response to mounting concerns over the increasing number of inactive traffic lights across the country, the Guyana Police Force has initiated discussions with the Ministry of Public Works to expedite the reactivation of these inactive traffic lights. According to officials, during an episode of a police program named Road Safety and You, the numerous inactive traffic lights have been attributed to road works ongoing across the country. Sergeant Winston White, attached to the traffic headquarters in Georgetown, has emphasized the urgency of the situation by stating that a significant rise in traffic incidents and congestion has been observed due to these inactive traffic lights. Here's what he had to say on the matter.
Recently, with the increase of road work
construction work that's been going on around the country, primarily in Georgetown. Some of the regular intersections that used to be manned by traffic lights, because of the expansion of these roads or the widening of these roads now, some of these traffic lights has become inactive. But I can say this confidently that as recent as yesterday, I think it was, the administration of the Guyana Police Force through the traffic officer had a meeting with officials from the Ministry of Infrastructure as relates to putting in back these traffic lights. And while we're awaiting the implementation of these lights, some of these traffic lights for this intersection, like for instance the one that the caller just made mention of, Hatfield and Mandela, which falls directly in East Penitent Station District, those intersections are going to be manned by police ranks, either from A Division. From time to time you would find motorcyclists from headquarters periodically making checks with their motorcycles to ensure that these intersections are being manned properly.
Meanwhile, also on the same program of road safety and youth, Sergeant Williams of the Providence Police Station has pleaded with motorists who have been involved in minor incidents on the roadway to promptly clear the road of obstructions in order to avoid an unnecessary buildup of traffic. Here's what he had to say.
Let's stray away from that a bit. If you're involved in an accident and your vehicle is on the road, what I would advise you to do is you can mark where your wheels are and put the vehicle to the corner of the road. You do not have to wait until the traffic rank or any police arrive at the scene. You being there will cause some amount of obstruction. You and the other driver, you can exchange license information, insurance information. You can drive to the nearest station and report the accident. If it's a case whereby persons are injured, I would advise you to call the EMT, or you can even call 911 to get emergency help to the persons injured. You don't need to leave your vehicle at the center of the road, obstruct all the traffic. Then when the police arrive, is a scrape on your bumper. Come on, we cannot do that. We gotta stray away from that. Go to any supermarket, purchase one of those spray paints, keep it in your trunk. In event of you passing and seeing an accident, you can assist the persons to just mark the road where the vehicles were after the accident, advise them to put it in a corner, you call the police, or you can drive to the closest station to have same resolve.
The control tower at the Cheddi Jagan International Airport received a distress call at 15:20 on Monday, alerting authorities of a medical emergency on board an Air Europa flight from Peru bound for Spain. In a coordinated effort, the airport ambulance and medical team were immediately put on high alert and stood ready to assist upon the aircraft's arrival. The patient was successfully received and attended to by the medical team upon the flight's landing at 15:52. Following a thorough assessment, the passenger was swiftly transported to Diamond Hospital for further medical care. Subsequently, the patient was transferred to Georgetown Public Hospital for continued treatment. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, April 24, 2024 at 4 hours for 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the BERBICE Bridge is expected to be closed at 16 hours 45 on Wednesday, April 24, 2024, also for 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market complements of GASI. Petro Organization receives friendly status, and Moti Paul named in squad for Nepal tour. Details of these stories and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Poultry farmers, save money and increase your production rate by cutting the time it takes to pluck your chickens with a plucking machine from Sylvies. We have them available in small, medium and large sizes. Replacement motors and plucking fingers are also readily available. Order yours now at sylviesonline.com or at our locations at 31 High and Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or Lot 90 East Henrietta, Essequibo.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.
Did you know Guy Super 95 gasoline has an octane rating of 95, the highest rating available in Guyana? This premium fuel is known to enhance the performance of your engine, making it run smoother and more efficiently, leading to better fuel economy and improved performance. Choose Super 95 for more mileage and better overall performance.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speed Test, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Eterimang, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
What flavors does Oreo have around the world?
Oreo peanut butter.
Let me see. Oreo cajeta.
Here comes Oreo around the world, the promo that takes you on a family trip to taste the Oreo flavors available in Paris, New York, Mexico, or Rome. Register your packages at oreopromo.com.